Hey guys, your boy New Year here, back again with another video. Sorry, I just burped. But back again with another video. Um, Brand new what if Deku had Alex Mercer's abilities from the game Prototype? And I just want to give a shout out to Kid Zeus. Thank you for suggesting this. It was a genius idea, man. And I saw you had so many other what ifs too, guys. If you have what ifs, trust me, I will do them. I'm letting you guys know this. This is me proving my point. I will do them. Even if I don't know what you're talking about, I will watch whatever anime or game it is and I will do it for you. Trust me, guys. And like I said, I just want to thank you guys for all the love and support. And please continue to just add on more comments and please continue watching my videos. All right, we're gonna get jump right into the story. So, for those who don't know who Alex Mercer is, and I feel like I have to explain this because it is coming from a game. Alex Mercer is a person who was, sorry, I'm trying to explain this, who was woke up in the hospital. He was injected with a virus, and they gave him superhuman abilities. So Deku's powers in this, he will have superhuman strength, super speed, invulnerability. And that's it right there for the normal, just the normal powers. He also has the ability to create weapons, and the more he absorbs, the stronger they are. Um, he has the claws. He has the hammer fist. He has the tendrils. What else does he have? He has the whip and he has the blade. And he's also able to cloak himself in, well, this form into have giant armor in his full prototype form. And Deku will also be having that in here too. He also will have the ability to make the dogs, and this was in prototype too. But he'll be have the ability to make the, and I'm just gonna call them the Venom dogs. I'll just call them that, Venom dogs, which are berserk creatures who look like dogs and are very dangerous. Trust me. One of them is enough to probably take out a couple of pro heroes in this. And he has a couple more abilities, which you guys will eventually find out, which are his, basically his finishers. Okay, so we start off in a hospital. Deku's has Deku just coming into the world, and he's coming out with his quirk automatically. His quirk has already manifested at birth, and his parents get rid of him because they see his powers and think he's a monster. So Deku ends up in a homeless shelter for 9 years, and Deku is hated with a passion because of his abilities. Because all the other kids, the adults, they have everyday abilities. They love heroes, and because villains have been depicted as people who have certain quirks, Deku's quirk is immediately seen as a villain quirk, and it just so everybody is just against them. And Deku's attitude will be more secluded. He's more like the silent, cool type you see in anime. So like a Sasuke or somebody of that nature. That silent, cool type that will work hard for what he owns, but not really talk much. But still, he's still Deku. He's still a good person. That part of him will never change in any what if. But one day, some of the kids that really feared and hated him tried to jump. So it's a group of boys, and he's 9 years old, and these kids. They're teenagers at this point. These kids are teenagers, and they're trying to bully Deku. Like I said, he does have superhuman strength and everything of that nature. And the reason why is because they were playing a game one time, and Deku uh, actually pushed somebody too hard. So they were playing tag, and Deku was running after him. He got him quick, but he pushed him too hard, and he pushed him into a wall. And that's when everybody really started to fear him and stay away from him. And this was the same kid who did that very exact same thing. Sorry, guys, one sec. All right, I'm back, guys. But okay. So this kid comes to him with a knife. Give in mind he's terrified of Deku, and he's making fun of him while he's doing this. And he comes up and just runs up and stabs Deku. And right now he thinks he's actually killed Deku, but Deku is just standing there with his eyes sad. He's sad right now. But then he says out loud, "Why? Why is it always me? Why was I made like this? Why am I hated for my quirk? You know." And he looks out there. Nobody hates my quirk more than me. Nobody. And he's angry. And he pulls a knife out his chest and he goes to attack them. And at this moment, he had his. That's when his claws. And that was Alex Mercer's first weapon that ever actually came out. So his claws come out, and he just rips through them. And right now, Deku is zoned out. He's just seeing red. He doesn't even realize what he's doing. He tears them to shreds and absorbs them, just leaving a bloody mess. There's not even any bodies. It's just blood. And Deku snaps out and realizes what he did. He takes off. Right now, at this very moment, he's on the run right now, and the Forester, the homeless shelter just thinks that maybe a villain came in and killed them or something like that because they were able to track all the DNA that was there to the kids, um, and because they couldn't find any bodies in any form or type of way, they just assumed that all of them were dead. Even when they found Deku's blood, they just assumed it was just because they all had blood out that they were all dead, and Deku just left. And right now, Deku's on the run. He's by himself, and he's 9 years old at the time. He's not thinking straight at all. He's getting hungry. He's upset. He's sad. He's just traumatized. He couldn't believe what he just did. And there's one night. So Deku's on his own for about a month. He's on his own for about a month at this moment. And he hasn't eaten anything or drunken anything. Keep in mind, his abilities are letting him hold on for a longer point. But he's at a breaking point where he just next to a restaurant and he's eating out the garbage. The restaurant owner sees this and Deku just looking at him. At this time, Deku is still 9. He's still 9 years old. He's just a kid. And the owner of the restaurant brings Deku in and actually feeds Deku. And during this time, he asks the kid, and let's see, what should I give him? What name should I give the chef? I'm gonna just name him John. You can, I can't think of a better name than that at the moment. So John. So John is his name, and John asks where are his parents, and Deku tells him that he was abandoned, and he left the homeless shelter because everybody hated him. He doesn't tell what fully happened because he doesn't want anybody to know and realize it or let this guy who's helping him think that he's a monster. And John right now is a man. He's a good person, and he actually takes Deku in and gives him a place to work at. So he's actually working at the age of 9 till and just trying to gather some things. He's working right now. He is up in a year or so because of his situation. They actually give him his own place. So right now he's under a kind of benefit plan right now just because he of his powers, and they want him to have his own place. So he's more. So even now, his personality is still the same. He's even more secluded than he ever was. He's really, really into music, guys. I would definitely say that music is kind of his escape right now. So he has his own acoustic guitar. He plays the drums. He's really good singer and everything like that. But he's just to himself. And now we pop to where he's 15. Now, give in mind, Deku hasn't even been to school yet. He has not been to school at all. At he nothing, or he's not been around anybody. But though I will say that doesn't mean he's dumb. Deku is actually very intelligent because he also was working with John with his studies. So while he was working, he was also studying with John. So basically, he was basically just homeschooled. He was homeschooled most of his life. So he's still gonna know as much as anybody information, and even more so because the music was his escape. And in his spare time, he wasn't really interested in watching TV or anything. So he would just be reading books, or if not reading books, he would be playing music. And if he wasn't playing music, he was working. So he was a grown man at the age of 9. And fit now he's 15 years old. He actually is walking down the alley and he's attacked by the Sludge villain. Deku backs up. During this time, he's been training. And I forgot to mention that he's been training to control himself because he doesn't want the same incident to happen again. And during this time, he's able to pick up the tendril attack, which is where he can tear somebody's limbs apart despite throwing his arms, and they kind of expand a little bit. And the Sludge villain attacks him, and he backs up and realizes he's in danger. He's never been in a fight before, but that doesn't make him any less dumb to combat. Sorry. So the Sludge villain is trying to get him, and Deku's just jumping out the way because he tries to hit the Sludge villain, but he realizes that isn't working, and he's not even completely 100% sure if he can even absorb a creature like this, or a villain like this. So he goes ahead and just keeps dodging in and out the way. He's about to escape until All Might shows up with this, I am here. Comes out and just Detroit smashes the villain into a bottle. When Deku sees all this, he's not really shocked or anything like this. He's like, I'm not gonna say he's in awe. He's more has a curiosity look, cause he's heard of All Might when he was growing up in a homeless shelter. But after he was working and everything, he never kept up with anything but except for his personal life. So, All Might walks up to Deku and asks, "Are you okay, young man?" And Deku is just like, "Yeah, thanks for the help." Like in an exact tone that I just said it, like that's exactly how he said it. He doesn't really care. He actually thinks he could have beat the Sludge villain, but he doesn't really trust anybody to help him. But it was still, it still made him feel some type of way that's because this is the second time anybody's ever helped him except for John. And John is basically his father to him, so he only trusts John for all these years. And All Might said, All Might says, "You're very welcome, young," and he jumps off with the Sludge villain. And I'm gonna say the same thing happened where he doesn't realize the Sludge villain has actually escaped, and Deku is still just walking home, and he hears explosions. Deku just keeps walking. He doesn't really care, and then he sees Bakugo. Well, a person. He doesn't know who Bakugo is, but he sees somebody in the Sludge villain, and he sees what the Sludge villain is doing to him. And at this point, he's just standing there in the crowd. He just like, I thought All Might had him. and he sees none of the heroes doing nothing. And he still has that same look on his face, but then he sees Bakugo make that same a face that he made when he was a kid, when he was helpless and he was alone, and he wanted more than anything for anybody to come save him. So he goes and rushes in and goes to save Bakugo, and he's able to pull Bakugo out. The heroes are telling the kid, don't go out there, you'll get yourself killed. But he's not even caring right now, and the slime villain is about to hit him, and Deku awakens another power, his hammer fist, which in this timeline, his hammer fists are pretty much just they're so strong they're able to correct shockwaves like All Might. So he literally uses all his force in his hammer fist and was able to do basically like a Detroit smash, and the sub villain is just blown away. At the very end of it, uh, everybody sees this and just scream and shouting for him. He's Deku right now is just you know, in shock and all. He's never heard anybody cheer for him or anything like that. Bakugo right now is passed out, and then All Might buffs off and says, "You know what? I'm gonna skip. No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on that. I'm gonna say afterwards. Everybody wants to talk to him, everything like that. But he still has that. These people are just don't really care about me type of vibe right now. But so he just walks off. And right now he's walking. Right now he's walking home, and just thinking to myself, oh, I just can't believe what I did today. It was just his face. I couldn't. He looked like how I used to be. He was just thinking that. And then All Might shows up and just, I am here. Deku's, this white. His eyes are just a little widened, but he's not really going to be that surprised look that Deku gave that first time. All Might turns to Deku and says, "Young man, what's your name?" He says, "My name is Midoriya." Sorry, guys. I was just in thought for a second. I was just in thought for a second because you know what? I'm just gonna say his name is Izuku, just because I think he would get rid of the Midoriya name just because that is his last name, and his family abandoned him, so I don't think he's gonna go with Midoriya. So my name is Izuku, and he tells him, and then he asks Deku, young man, you have a very high potential of being a great pro hero one day. I'm guessing that's a profession you would like to obtain. And then Deku's like, no, not really. I never really thought about it. All Might's just surprised, and he looks at him just like, what school are you currently attending now? What high school are you going to? And Deku tells him, I've never even been to school. I'm pretty much homeschooled. And All Might asks why, and Deku goes in and explains his whole life story up till now to this point, and All Might is just feeling sorry for him because he had to go through so much by himself. But then he brings up, I know your life's been hard, and I know it's hard for you to trust people, but today you were willing to save somebody no matter the cost when nobody else, including myself, was. And during this time, All Might is smoking, and then he turns back to his normal form. And he's okay with that because he wants Deku to see. And All Might does explain exactly what happened to him. And All Might says to Deku that I want you to come to UA. But then Deku tells him that, why. Deku tells him, why should I even do that? I mean, it's not like anybody would give me the chance of being a hero. And All Might says, because today everyone saw the hero you could be one day, and I could see on your face that you want to save people, and don't you want to prevent what happened to you that could happen to them? And Deku's just silent, and he's just like, yeah, I mean, he's just silent. He's just thinking to himself. And then he says, well, if you do agree with me, whatever you choose, come. Well, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it out. Whatever you, well, depending on your answer, depending on your choice, if you want to try to save people and be a great hero one day, so people can learn to love and accept you, and for you to be able to love and accept yourself, meet me at the beach tomorrow. And if not, then I know the choice you made, and I'll leave you alone. And then All Might just leaves. Now Deku's just still silent, left with this thought in his mind. I mean, do I really want to be a hero? He's asking himself that question. But okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was another long one, 20 minutes and all. And I know I had to explain a lot just because Alex Mercer is, from a game. I don't know how many people actually know it, so I have to explain it the best way I can. But in the other parts, it'll be more story, and trust me, I'm gonna enjoy doing this very much. And any suggestions you guys know, just put it in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Love you guys. New Year out.